The process gets started, Chris, with the Cincinnati Bengals on the clock. Look, I still can't completely and totally rule out Stephen Ross taking over the Dolphins draft room and making the Bengals an offer they can't and won't refuse. But it looks like it's going to be Joe Burrow to the Cincinnati Bengals with the first overall pick in the draft. Do you see any scenario where that does not happen?
No, I do not. I don't. First off, Joe Burrow, like I've told you, Mike, when we talked about quarterbacks, it's almost a flawless film study. He's so talented. And for a national football championship team, okay, their pass protection stunk at LSU. You watch Joe Burrow on film and you just go, hey, he's under duress every play, every other play. And he just makes so many freaking plays within the pocket, not only scrambling, but just moving people around him, making big time throws, Mike. And the one thing I've consistently heard, from around the NFL, people they're totally impressed with Joe Burrow, the man, the leader, the guy he has, the charisma, everything about it. So I don't see there's any way, and I've been told by a few people in the know already that the Bengals are just smitten with what they've learned and with what they've gotten to know about Joe Burrow here through this process.
I'm going to be talking to him this afternoon, and one of the things I want to really delve into, how he handled that period of time at Ohio State when he was passed over for Dwayne Haskins, the decision to transfer. He graduated from Ohio State in 3 years. My goodness, that's what allowed him to play right away at LSU in 2018 and not have to take a year off. But, we see the finished product. We see the guy who's ready to be the number one overall pick in the draft, and we just assume it was easy for him every step of the way. It was not easy for Joe Burrow, so I want to hear more about that story, about how he dealt with the adversity at Ohio State and how he turned that into the motivation that has propelled him to where he is. Also, he reached out to Peyton Manning, which shows that he's smart. He's doing his homework. He's getting advice. He's getting information. He's not trapped by that arrogance of youth that makes you think you have all the answers and no one else who's been there before can help you through it. And Peyton Manning had this to say about Joe Burrow reaching out. I told him, Joe, when you're the first pick in the NFL draft, you're going to a team that has really earned the first pick in the NFL draft. There are going to be some holes there. There was a reason the Colts were picking number one that year. There's a reason the Bengals are picking number one this year. I will say this, though. Peyton Manning walked into a team that had Marvin Harrison and Marshall Faulk, for crying out loud. So the deck was slightly better stacked, although the Bengals have Joe Mixon and A.J. Green. I'll take Marvin Harrison and Marshall Faulk over A.J. Green and Joe Mixon, Chris.
Yes, me too. But, A.J. Green and Joe Mixon's not a bad second. And I do. I think it's, curious that Joe Burrow, calls Peyton Manning. Yes, that's the smart thing to do. We've seen nothing but really smart and perfection and professionalism from Joe Burrow since he's taken over as the LSU quarterback and ever since he got thrusted in the spotlight as the best college player in football last year. And Mike, I said it, the guy that he really reminds me of is Peyton Manning. His style of play, the way he processes defenses, how quickly he can go through reads and flip the side of the field and then diagnose that side of the field and make another, proper decision and accurate throw of the football. It's all just top notch, let alone like those plays, Mike, you see there. He's got the little backyard feel to him. Oh, scramble to the right, 40-yard bomb on the run, right on the money. To me, he really has a similar style to Manning. He's just a new age version, a little more athletic than Peyton, maybe not quite as big, but extremely accurate, extremely smart. His arm is real good. It's not going to wow you like Brett Favre or Elway or Rodgers, but it's really good. And, man, I would be shocked. Cincinnati's taking him number one. We can just move on to pick. We really can move on to pick number 3 because Washington's taking Chase Young. They better make that quick on Thursday night.
Meanwhile, for those of you keeping score at home when it comes to Chris Sims versus the English language, thrusted is an accepted past tense for thrust, although it is rarely used. In most cases, thrust is the past tense of thrust, not thrusted. But you're okay on this one.
Just in case, if anybody thinks I actually give a damn whether I use that correctly, they should check themselves because I don't give a damn.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.